This episode was great. It was awesome, man. Okay, to start off, I had butterflies in my stomach before this premiere, and when it opened, I could not have been more confused. But I did understand what was happening after like the first minute. So when it opens and Isaac is on the floor and there's a chick there with him, I already knew that this season was going to start off, a few months after the events of season 2. So I knew. I was like, oh, okay, so everything's not going to be, right where we left off. Things are going to change, characters are going to be different. And this is something that I majorly can't stand in shows that do the seasons within like a few months of each other or something, or like a year or something like that. When they open, characters and stories are completely and utterly different from how they were the previous season, and the excuse that they use is, oh, well, it's been a certain amount of time. I hate that. It's one of the major problems I have with True Blood Season 4. The characters and the storyline took such a huge divergence, and it's just like the excuse that they use is, oh, well, it's been a year. And I found that so annoying, like, especially with Hoyt and Jessica and Tara. But whatever, that's a rant for another time. What I'm going to get into now is basically the fact that I really loved this season because when it opens, the characters haven't really changed in any massive way except for Scott. And even with Scott, the way he's changed is completely realistic. And I really, really enjoyed that. So the way it opened with Isaac and this mystery girl, I'm really, really interested in this mystery girl. The fact that she's probably dead now really upsets me because she was so interesting, she was so kick-ass. I want to find out who this chick is and how she knew Isaac. Because the thing is, she knew Isaac. She was willing to protect Isaac. She got on that bike to get Isaac the fuck out of there and away from the awesome twin alphas, and I'm going to talk about them later. But she got on that bike and drove to get Isaac out of there. She kept telling Isaac, hang on. She nearly died to get Isaac out of there. And it's like, okay, who is this girl to Isaac? Like, I really want to know. So my theory as to who this chick is, is I think that she's probably a hunter, but who she is exactly, I have no clue. I think she's probably some badass hunter chick. Because, dude, when she grabbed that later in the episode, when she grabbed that wooden mop and snapped it, she went up, how many alphas was that? She went up against like 5 alphas, and she actually gave as good as she got. Like in the beginning at least, before that bitch Barefoot Alpha. I'm gonna call her Barefoot Alpha from now on, okay? I'm gonna call that chick Alpha, she's Barefoot Alpha to me. I'm calling her Barefoot Alpha from now on. She like kicks her in the face and just takes her down, and I was like, that's bullshit, because like she was just like knocking those alphas around with a wooden stick. I mean, like, what is this chick? Like, I know she's probably normal, but I mean, could she have been supernatural? Because she was taking on alphas and she was actually like smacking them around. Whatever, she gave real good, but ultimately it's 5 alphas against 1 person, so they're gonna lose. And, she lost, and she's just like, you're gonna use Derek to get to Scott, and it's just like, what was she talking about? So many things were set up are set up for this season, and it looks amazing, like her calling Scott the Alpha, and saying that the only reason they're there is to kill Scott because he's a potential threat. Not because of who he is, but because of the man he'll grow to be. Like, what is happening? I am so excited to find out what's gonna happen this season. Now, someone mentioned this, and I really hope it's not the case. Someone posted or whatever a theory that this might have to do with a prophecy. I swear to God, if this has anything to do with some kind of stupid prophecy, I'm gonna like flog the writers because I can't stand prophecies anymore. At least when prophecies first started coming out in stories, they were kind of interesting. But like every other story I read or watch on TV has to do with some stupid prophecy regarding the hero that they're gonna rise up and take down the villain, so the villain has to rise up and take down the hero first. I mean, like, I can't stand that. I really hope this has nothing to do with a prophecy. If anything, I really hope this has something to do with Scott's dad. Like, maybe Scott's dad, we're going to be finding out more about him, more about his backstory, who he is, and maybe these alphas are going after Scott because they're afraid he'll grow up and be like his father. Who knows? Like, wouldn't that be so amazing? Like, this show, this premiere did not disappoint at all, okay? It was awesome, okay? That was awesome. And this mystery girl, I hope she's not dead. But even if she is, I really hope they give us more answers into her, okay? Because she knew stuff, man. She had the knowledge, and she had to get to Scott. And what was so painful and frustrating is the fact that, like, they were in the hospital at the same time, but she didn't know. Like, she had to get to Scott to let him know what was happening, to let him know what was coming. And she fought those alphas, and she knew something, man. And so did Isaac. I really feel like her and Isaac definitely teamed up at some point and like went in there to get info on this Alpha Pack and what they were after and what they wanted, and they found out, and then, you know, they attacked Isaac. And like she says in the beginning, it's for like a split second, I really have to pay attention, but she says that the scratch isn't only how wolves share memories, it's how they steal them. So I feel like her and Isaac found something out, and they scratched Isaac and they sucked the memories out of him, and now Isaac has no clue what's happening. Like he didn't even know who she was, but she knew who he was, you know. And that's why later on I was a little confused, because Isaac says, "Where's the girl?" And then Derek says, "What girl?" And it's like, it seems like this girl knew Isaac pretty well. She was willing to risk her life to save him, you know? So, I mean, like, he knew her pretty well. And whatever they were in together, they were obviously in it together, and they got the information together, I'm sure. Or whatever information she knew that Isaac, you know, forgot because the Alphas took his memories. So, and Isaac's been working with Derek and Peter for the last 4 months to look for Erica and Boyd. So if they've all been working together, how come they don't know who this girl is? Is this something Isaac did all by himself? If so, good on you, Isaac. I mean, way to take the initiative. You know, I mean, like, this mystery girl and Isaac, I want to know. This is something that they definitely, they're going to be going into this. I really feel like Isaac's storyline this season is going to be trying to remember what he knew that the Alphas took away from him. And they might be trying different ways. Like, you know, in the trailer, you see them immersing Isaac in, like, this ice water, and then he rises up, and his eyes are glowing, and he's wolfing out. I think that maybe they're going to be trying to do something to him, like undergoing some kind of weird werewolf thing, to try to bring his memories back. I really think so, because, I mean, that's really important. The only other person who knew about this was the mystery girl, and she gets offed. So Isaac is the only one who knows anything. They need to start trying to find ways to bring back Isaac's memories. So that was amazing. And the twin alphas, oh my god, that was so amazing. I'm just gonna say this. No offense to MTV. I know it's a tough industry and your budget's probably not huge, but that motorcycle chase, the effects were absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry. Like, the way they're driving and the buildings are flying by, I'm like, how fast are they going? 400 miles an hour? I mean, for the buildings just be flying by like that? No, I'm sorry. No, bikes don't. Whatever, unless you had like a supercharger on that thing and they were going that fast. And the Alphas were keeping up with them and scratching at the bike. That was awesome. It reminded me of like Terminator, except, you know, with worse effects. And then, you know, they almost got away, but then Isaac just like collapses, and they totally would have gotten away. Ugh, Isaac. But whatever. And then she shoots him with like that gun, and that scene where they merge together, that was so awesome, because I was thinking, oh my god, they're both gonna wolf out. And then they like merge together and create like this giant super monster alpha. I felt like I was watching some really kind of cool anime. Like, it was really amazing and cool how like they merged together to make some monster. That's what I love about this show, man. They gave you like the leader of the alphas being blind. I mean, like, who saw that? I didn't. We just see him wearing shades in the trailer. You don't think he's gonna be blind, but he's blind. Like, he's a blind alpha. Like, stuff like that, like having twin alphas that can merge into one giant monster alpha, having a blind leader, I mean, like, stuff like this, it's just really cool. The show is keeping itself fun, and I just love that. I love it. And these twin alphas look amazing, and it's just like when they walked in there and they just like took off their shirts, I was like, oh, there we go. Everyone in the show has perfect hair and a perfect friggin' body. It's ridiculous, but it's awesome. And then they mix together. The one issue I have with that is that when they merge together, their pants are intact. Their pants merge along with their form, and then when they get separated, they're still wearing the frickin' pants. And it's just like their pants shifted with them. Come on, guys, be on top of things like this. I'm not saying I want, you know, True Blood style nudity, but be realistic. Show them ripping through their clothes, and then when they fall to the ground, just show them from the chest up. You know, it's like okay, we know that they tore through their clothes, but don't show us the pants. That's just upsetting. Whatever, to me at least. Because clothes shifting with them, that makes no sense. But whatever, I can look past that because the scene was awesome when they merged together. I could totally look past that. Just like they merged, wah, they come together. That was so awesome. I must have said holy shit like 5 times. That was great. And then when the twin alphas come to school, and then Lydia's just like Alice is just like, brothers? And Lydia's like, twins. Like, with her face, I was like, yes. Now, that was just great. That was just awesome, man. I'm really looking forward to these twin alphas. I really want to find out about the mystery girl. Like, what the flip is going on? I'm so excited. So anyway, yeah. And then they get brought into the hospital, and then she tells Scott's mom, you know, I'm looking for the alpha. She's like, what do you want with Derek Hale? So Scott's mom is now in the loop. You know, Scott's had 4 months to give her the complete rundown of what's going on, because we saw, you know, by the end of season 2 that his mom was pretty much comfortable with this. She said, you know, Scott, be who you are, be great, I love you, I'm your mother, I'll always love you. So I feel like in the last 4 months, he's definitely shared everything there is to know about her. Because she even knows about alphas and betas, and she knows that Derek's an alpha. So, you know, when the chick says, you know, and you talk to the alpha, she's like, oh, Derek Hale? And she's like, no, Scott McCall. What are you talking about? Scott's not an alpha, or is he yet? Like, I definitely feel like the season's going to be building towards Scott becoming an alpha, but I feel like they've also sort of ruined it in the trailer, because it's like, you see the eyes turning red, you see this chick calling Scott an alpha, and it's just like, we know Scott's going to be an alpha eventually. Like, even in the promo, someone actually pointed this to me. They said that, like, while I was watching, because I said some criticisms about Scott, that he's going to have to go through some major character changes. Someone made a comment that I've obviously haven't seen the promo where Scott kills his weaker self. And I totally did. I looked it up right after that, and it's just like, it's an image of Scott drowning another version of himself. And it's like, is that Scott drowning his weaker self? I think that it probably is. If so, that's just another emphasis on him becoming stronger and him becoming an alpha. You know, I'm just so interested in finding out what happens next. Now let's get to Scott. Scott, I really like the direction they're going in with Scott, how he addresses the fact that he's trying to become a better person and all that. When he's doing pull-ups, I was like, here we go. And then he's reading a book, and I was like, what? And he's like turning the pages and reading, and then you see like A Call to Arms and White Fang and all these other classic like novels, and he's like reading them all. And he has a word of the day thing on his computer that was so like cute and awesome. And it's like he's trying to better himself. And then his mom even says later, you know, with all of your, you know, you took summer school and you got your grades up. You've been reading a lot more. You saved up and you got a bike. I mean, like, you know, his motorcycle, which that scene was hilarious when he gets to school and he's like, my awesome bike. He looks over and he got the 2 twin alpha motorcycles. I was like, damn it! It's always being one-upped. But whatever. And also, these twin alphas are channeling some Sirius Jackson. I'm just saying, with like the way they look, they're channeling some Sirius Jackson. It's like they, you know, it's like Colton left, so now they replaced him with 2 Jackson-like twins, like whatever. Anyway, yeah, like, you know, she goes, I didn't want to mess up a good rhythm. And then Scott even says, you know, I want to be better. I want to be a better student. I want to be a better son. I want to be a better friend. And it's just like, yes. Because later on, his whole tattoo confession with Derek, when it comes to Allison and the whole open wound thing, I was just like, okay, they had to add this in there, but, you know, because you guys know how I feel about Allison and Scott. It's like, we get it, their hearts are broken, we know they're going to get back together, we know they still love each other, you know. I did like the whole tattoo open wound thing, but it's just like, you know, like, come on, it's Allison, can we just move past this? So, him saying that just like affirms to me, because when he was doing all that, I was like, oh my god, is he trying to make himself better for Allison? But when he stated that, it's like, no, it's not all about Allison. I'm sure it has something to do with her, but it's not all about her. It's about him trying to make himself a better person, trying to become a better version of himself by reading more, by getting his grades up, by trying to be a better friend, by trying to be more attentive to his mother, probably being more honest with her, telling her more about werewolves, which plays into her knowing all about Derek being the alpha. I feel like he's bettering himself to better himself, okay? This is something that needs to be learned by other people, especially writers of other shows. When you have a character want to better themselves, show them bettering themselves, and then have them say, I'm doing this because I want to better myself. Scott saying that, I was just like, that was excellence right there. I just loved that. You know, Scott saying, listen, it's not all, it's, you know, he doesn't say anything about Allison there. It's all about me wanting to be a better student, son, friend. Yes, Scott McCall, because 1, you need to be, and 2, yes. And even, I love how everyone's putting an emphasis on him. Even just in this one episode, everyone's putting an emphasis on him that he does not have to be a part of this. You know, Derek even tells him, this has nothing to do with you. He doesn't even tell him anything about the Alpha Pack until he finds the symbol. He tells him nothing. He just, for the last 4 months, he's completely stayed away from Scott and not told Scott anything. And he tells Scott, go be a teenager. Like, Scott, I love this. I love how Scott is now, because like the last 2 seasons, like I said, he's been very whiny. He's been kind of selfish, kind of spoiled, and he always avoids the issue. But it's like now he's trying to better himself. He's trying to become better. He's trying to become stronger. He's trying to become smarter. And he's trying to become a better version of himself. And it's like now he's going to have the option to actually not have anything to do with this. Of course, it's going to be all about him. You know, the alphas are here for him. They're going to try to manipulate Derek into taking down Scott. But they're going to show that he has a choice to walk away from this, and he's going to choose not to because he knows he can do something about it. I just like it's setting up all of this amazing stuff, and I cannot wait to see what direction his character is going to go down. I'm sorry, I've gone on so long about Scott. It's just, I'm really proud of the direction that they took him in, just in this one episode alone. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with him in the whole season. Styles, I don't have much to say about Styles because Styles was Styles in this episode. You know, they didn't give him anything too epic or too major. It was just Stylesness. You know, when the deer crashes, he's looking up why the deer crashed. I mean, like, he's the only one, again, who's really trying to solve the problem. He's looking up why, you know, why the deer freaked out, and he's like, it's weird behavior. He's the one who pieces together it's because there's got to be alphas in town. I mean, like, he puts all this together, and Lydia, you know, Lydia's kind of frustrating because Lydia is still Lydia, but she knows all about the supernatural stuff. She doesn't really seem to have absorbed what happened to her. I know it's been 4 months, but again, she was manipulated by a dead guy into bringing him back to life, and he was an alpha, and he attacked her, and all this other stuff happened, but she's still Lydia, and it's like, it's not like before when she has memory loss. She knows everything now. Everything came back. She has all the memories, and, you know, she knows. And it's not like before when she was like, I know half of it, but the other half's like a dream. She knows everything, and it's just like, you're still Lydia. Her opening scene was fantastic. No, sorry, not her opening scene. The scene where, you know, she's getting ready for school, that was awesome. We've got some guy in her bed, and Camille says again, she's like, grabs her purse and leaves. I was like, yes, Lydia, you are, like, oh, God. The enjoyable, lovable bitch. Yes, yes, Lydia, you rock. Now, let's talk about what they did with Colton, what they did with Jackson's character, American Werewolf in London. I smell a spinoff. I mean, as long as we're making shows based on the titles of popular werewolf films, fuck, do it, man. I smell a spinoff. Jeff, I called it, man. I called it. If they do an American Werewolf in London spinoff with Colton, I called that shit. Right now, mark the date and time. I called that shit. But anyway, yeah, they basically do like this quick ramble. I was waiting for this too. I was waiting for the moment where they were just gonna plug in some 2-3 minute explanation about Colton. I'm sorry, about Jackson. And it's like, yeah, Jackson went to go live in London, and, you know, Derek basically taught him how to control himself during full moon during the 4 months. And now the 4 months are up, but Jackson's in London. He's going to school there with his rich parents. Everything's done with, and you know, he came back to life, and the doctors look like morons, and blah 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 blah. They just gave us a quick run through of everything that was going on with Jackson. Now the thing about this is, I have no major complaints about this because the thing is, it's actually kind of reasonable. Because after everything Jackson's been through, I can understand him wanting to get the hell out of town. With being manipulated by that guy, with killing all these people, with being a monster, with everything that happened, I can understand him wanting to get out of town. You know, with wanting to leave and go someplace else, and just, you know, it's like, just leave, get out of town, go someplace else, and just start a whole new life somewhere else. That is completely reasonable to me. After everything that happened, after even dying and coming back as a werewolf and all that, I can understand him leaving and going and starting another life someplace else. And him going to London with his rich parents, that also fits. Rich people just getting up, moving to another country, and just, you know, going to school there, getting jobs there, that totally fits. So, in my opinion, at least. I mean, if you guys think it's ridiculous and it was a write-off, whatever. I personally think it makes sense for his character. And, you know, honestly, just plug it in there and let's just not deal with it anymore. Jackson's in London. He's an American werewolf in London. Whatever. And the fact that Lydia even states that just goes to show you how in the loop she is about all this, but how she's in denial, how she's just not going to let it affect her. And I like that, but it's also a little frustrating. And then the deer crashes through their windshield and all that, and I was like, it's because all the alphas are in town, and animals are going to be going crazy all over town. And that's exactly what happens. Like, the birds in the schoolroom, if you did not immediately think of Alfred Hitchcock, stop watching this video, because seriously, like, when those birds just, like, crashed into the classroom, I was like, it's the fucking birds! It was crazy. Like, and the teacher's, get down! Get down! I like this chick, and I like how she sent a text to everybody. It was a poem, and she's like, that's the last text you're gonna get in this classroom, shut off your phones. I was like, yeah, I like this teacher chick. Now, Allison. Allison spent 4 months in Paris, apparently, and, you know, her and Scott had an agreement, no calls, no text. And they both kept to it. And Allison, you know, she came back to town with her dad, and they have an agreement that they are not going to get involved in any of the supernatural crap whatsoever. They're going to stay out of it. Which to me is, again, kind of foolish. If a whole pack of alphas is in town, you have to get involved. I mean, seriously, you are the few people in town who know about this. Well, not so few anymore, but you are some of the people in town who know about this and who actually have an arsenal to stop it with. And you have training, and you know how to take down alphas. Allison probably could take down an alpha if she tried. So yeah, they're going to get involved. I think they need to get involved. The town needs them. Styles' dad is so completely ignorant to all of this. He's freaking out. He doesn't know why the animals are going crazy. He doesn't know what's happening. I feel so bad for Styles' dad. If Styles' dad finds out the truth, that'll just loose ends tied up. Because Scott's mom knowing about all this, it totally helps. Because now I feel like everyone's going to suddenly start going to the hospital, getting injured, or calling in Scott's mom for help. That's totally what's going to happen. They better not kill her off this season. That better be a dream, because I swear to God, I cannot get that image of the trailer out of my head when they rip her throat out, and it's just like, why would you put that in the trailer if it's actually going to happen? It better be a dream sequence, because that is going to massively upset me. And, you know, when Scott fights the other alpha in the elevator, that was awesome. I thought it was great. How he just like whoops Scott's ass and he lifts him up. He's like, "Do you know what you're dealing with? I'm an alpha." I literally, you guys are gonna not believe me, but I literally said, "So is Derek." And then the door opens and he claws him in the back. He's like, "So am I." And he throws him. I was like, yes, Derek, man, just bad assery. Derek, yes, yes. And I love the scene with the whole tattoo thing with Derek and Scott, because it really goes to show you that it is, like I said before when I talked about the relationships and like months ago in like one of my first Teen Wolf vids, the mentor relationship that is between these two. He takes Scott in, he helps Isaac with his wounds, like, you know, he's like, the wounds are healing on the outside, but on the inside, you know, there's still some internal damage, he needs to help him out. I like how they stated that, you know, Derek's not living there anymore. I really hope Derek isn't homeless. Like, where is Derek living? Like, please answer that question, because, like, he's a grown adult, we know this, so he doesn't need parents, but did he get, like, an inheritance when his family died? That would make sense. If they talked about how, like, him and his sister got, like, some huge inheritance. Not, it could be an inheritance, or it could be just life insurance. Like, talk about life insurance. Did him and his sister get, like, some huge life insurance payout? I mean, like, every member of his family died. Not just his mom and his dad, but his entire family burned to death in that fire. So, yeah, just say that he got some huge inheritance, now he's living it up in some apartment on the other side of town. Something, give us something. Because he drives that awesome Camaro, he wears his awesome clothes, and those some awesome, like, leather jackets and shit, like, awesome clothes. Like, where is he living? And he was, like, he's crashing at Styles' place when he was on the run. But, like, where... Yeah, I heard in interviews that Styles and Derek aren't going to be getting a lot of pairing up because they both have their own storylines going, which I'm happy for because both of these characters need more screen time and need more development. But give me my Derek. Give me at least one Derek episode. And you guys know me, I do not ship them romantically on the show. I just love them as characters together on adventures or solving problems because they are so opposite, but they work so well together when shit goes down. They have a great chemistry. I mean, like, put these characters together at least twice. You've given us 2 Derek episodes at least in previous seasons. Give us that again, okay? I was hoping it was going to be twice the Derek, but then I heard them say that, you know, they have their own storyline, so they're not going to be together as much. But I mean, at least give me 2. This is a 20-something episode season. At least give me 2 Dereks. 2 doses of Derek, okay? If I get anything less than that, I'm going to die. Scott is there with the whole tattoo when he talks to Derek about the tattoo. This is another thing that sort of annoyed me. He gets the tattoo and it heals over, right? And I was upset about that because it sort of makes no sense. What happens to the ink? What happens to the ink that's injected under the skin? Does his body absorb it? Why does his body absorb it? What happens? But it's still there because Derek, he uses his red-eyed alpha vision and he sees that the tattoo is still there. Meaning that the ink is still there, it's just like been dulled over. So like his skin sort of grew over layers of skin to cover up the tattoo. So the tattoo was still there. And then Derek lights up a blowtorch and burns his arm. And then when it comes back, and people were talking about like how they think that Derek used the blowtorch to make the tattoo. That makes no sense. There is no way that Derek could wield that freaking blowtorch with enough skill to make 2 perfect bands of different sizes. What has to have happened was that his skin just healed over the tattoo. The tattoo was still there, but his skin just healed over it. And Derek just used the blowtorch and burned away the layers of skin covering the tattoo to the point where his body healed, but around the tattoo. Like, his body healed and he grew his skin back, but because Derek burned away all those layers of healed over skin, he just basically revealed the tattoo underneath. And I really hope that that's what it means. And the whole open wound thing with Allison, I already said what I think about that. It was basically, I was just kind of like, ugh, I know they just had to add this in there because it's Scott and Allison, but, you know, whatever. It was still cool. And I liked how, again, it's showing that, you know, Scott's vocabulary is expanding, which I like. Affect. He kept saying that. And I was just like, yes, it's the word of the day. Use it. So, yeah, guys, I'm really looking forward to this season. And when they gave us, you know, the flash forward for the whole season, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it. What stuck out to me most was we see Danny shirtless in a bed, and then we see a back cover up Danny. Now, I'm just gonna go ahead and perv out a little bit with you guys and tell you what I hope is going to happen, but the twins are gonna go for Danny. There, I said it. Because they're new in school, it looks like they're gonna be athletes. We see like a moment where like one of them is wearing like a Nike Fit shirt and he's like growling. So why is he wearing a Nike Fit shirt? Maybe they're athletes. Maybe they meet Danny. Maybe something happens. I don't know. Because Danny totally deserves this. Because Danny's like one of the best. Danny is like one of the best side characters on the show. He's super nice. He's super awesome. He's super Danny. He totally deserves some twin action if he can get it. Like, I know you guys are probably like, oh, but like either that or Lydia. Like, someone needs to be hooking up with these twins. Someone. Or like, if one twin goes for Lydia and the other goes for Danny, I really don't care. Just Danny needs to be getting something. That's the one that stuck out to me the most. I'm watching and then like, we see Danny shirtless in bed and then like a bat covers him up and I was just like, what? That just stuck out to me so much because Danny is the best. And I want the best for Danny because Danny is just like, right there. That's Danny, man. Danny is awesome. The actor plays him great, and, whether he's gay in real life, I really could, care less about that, but he encompasses that character so well. He's just so sweet and so nice and so great. And Danny wasn't in this premiere at all. I mean, like, could you not have at least put him in the background, sitting at a desk or something, and it's like, oh, look, it's Danny. Like, just give us something. Like a Where's Danny in the episode. Just give us something. Like, oh, look, there's Danny right there in the corner. Oh, look, there's Danny right there at the desk. Oh, look, there's Danny right there standing in the background. Just give us some Danny. Just give us some recurring characters in the background, please. Oh, yeah, Scott clawing away the door. Am I the only one who immediately thought of, like, a cat? I mean, like, I have a cat, and my cat scratches at shit all the time. So when Scott was like, why is this on the door? And he, like, scratches up the door. I was like, come on. Like, we saw Derek use his wolf vision to see the tattoo that was on Scott, because he even looks at Scott's arm, he's like, yeah, I see it, it's 2 bands, meaning that the tattoo was there. So I really think that he used the blowtorch to reveal the tattoo, but anyway, why couldn't they just have Scott use his werewolf vision and see the mark underneath the paint? Not like x-ray vision, but like, he painted over it, but maybe the shade is still there. Because like, I'm sorry, that's some Sherlock Holmes shit. Wait a minute. If you don't live here and you're not planning on fixing up the house, why paint the door? And even if the door is painted, why only one side? I'm sorry, this is not Sherlock. It would have been better if you opened the door, looked at it real fast, and then was like, whoa, wait a minute. And he sees the kind of triangular-shaped dark paint. And he's like, what's this? And Derek's like, oh, that's nothing. And then, like, his eyes glow yellow, and then he uses his wolf vision, and then, like, the black paint stands out more, and then he sees the full mark, and he's like, it's a triangle with these weird marks. What does that mean? And then boom. But him scratching at the paint of the door, like, that's what I thought. I was like, what are you, a cat, Scott? Come on. He just, like, tears the friggin' paint off that door. I was like, come on. Another thing that just sucked me out of the episode. Same thing with Barefoot Alpha. I'm sorry, I work in a hospital. You cannot walk around a hospital barefoot without someone stopping you. Especially if you have these giant black claws coming out of your toes. And, like, the guy moving Styles in the gurney with the claws coming out of the gloves. Is that how they're going to identify alphas now? Whenever you see someone with claws? Like, seriously, why not just show their glowing red eyes? That's what I would do, seriously. It's like, if she came in there and gave him the shot and then her eyes glowed red for 2 seconds, it's like, oh my god, she's an alpha. And then the guy moving the cart, just zoom up to his face, glowing red eyes. Oh my god, it's an alpha. Just do that. I mean, like, showing claws every 5 minutes to identify an alpha? Kind of annoying. This season looks amazing, guys. Like, set up so many great things for so many great characters. I definitely want to find out where Peter is. What's Peter doing? Like, where was he? I'm guessing he's still working on this. But whatever. I want to find out what happened with Isaac and the mystery girl for those 4 months. What does Isaac know that he's gonna have to remember? What direction is Scott going in because he's trying to better himself? Where is Styles going? Like, because it shows him he's gonna start getting some nookie. I hope to God. Lydia is remaining stagnant, but she's gonna start finding out more about herself, more about the supernatural. She's in the loop now. Definitely excited about that. Allison and her dad are trying to stay out of it, but they're gonna get sucked back into it. Scott is finally gonna step up to the plate, stop avoiding, start being a good person. I just cannot wait. His mom's in the loop. I mean, like, I just can't wait. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for the next episode, guys. Oh, God. So massively excited for this show. Just great premiere. I watched it twice. It was amazing. Like, because they played it back to back, I watched them both. I mean, like, it was so amazing. I cannot wait. I really want to find out what's going to happen next. I want to find out how they're going to try to use Derek to get to Scott. Good luck in life, good luck in love. Comment, respond. What did you think about the premiere? I mean, just like, I'm so excited. Great premiere. Awesome, awesome premiere. It was just like, I can't wait. All right, guys. See ya.